Hello and welcome to the video for 4.4 factoring part, what is it? 2. Yeah, it is part 2. Here we go. For part 2, it's when A, right here, A has a number in front of it. I'm going to show you what I call a trick way. The first step that you should do is multiply the A and the C together. So A and C is going to be the number in front of the x squared and the number all by itself. When you multiply those together, I would get 24. So I'm going to write 24. I'm also going to write the A value over on the left-hand side and box it in, because I'm going to have to bring that back. Once you multiply those two together, then you can write it out as is. The reason why I do this is because now I'm going to do what we have been doing before, is looking for two multiples of 24 that would add together to get 11. And those two multiples would be 8, x plus 8, and x plus 3. So my second step would be to factor, just like normal when a is 1. Then you have to bring back your a. Now divide each number by your a. So in this case, I'm going to be dividing by 2. Simplify, and if the fraction does not simplify, you must bring the denominator out in front. So if I look at this first one, 8 divided by 2, that simplifies to x plus 4. The second one, 3 divided by 2, does not simplify, so I'm going to bring the 2 and bring it out in front of x. So it would be 2x plus 3. And this would be my factored form. So again, if the fraction does not simplify, bring it in front of x. You should be writing down those 5 steps. Or, the way that you could solve these problems is finding the factors of a. So if I look at the factors of a, that's just going to be 2 and 1. And the factors of 12, or c, so this would be my 2, this is my 12. It could be 1 and 12, it could be 2 and 6, it could be 3 and 4. And I want to find a combination between my factors of a and which factors of c would add up to get 11. So an example, if I checked these first two, if I did 2 times 1 plus 1 times 12, that's going to get me 14. That is not my b. I'm trying to figure out which combination will get to 11. But then you also have to try the 2 times 12 plus 1 times 1, which would be 25. So it also does not work. So I'm going to jump down to the bottom. I could do 2 times 3 plus 1 times 4, and that would give me 10. So then I'm going to check 2 times 4 plus 1 times 3, and that gives me 11. So this is my combination. Now when you do it this way, you have to be careful of how you write your binomials. So I want to make sure the 2 gets multiplied by the 4, so I have to make sure that they're in separate spots. And I also want to make sure the 3 gets multiplied, by the 1. So this is another way that you can do it. Either way, you're still going to get the same answer. You just have to be very careful on both ways. So I'm going to do this again by the trick way. So I'm going to multiply the a and 3. When I do these in class, you will see me doing it by the trick way, as I call it. And I'm going to bring the 4 down below and box it in. I have a minus 12. So two numbers that multiply to get negative 12, that add together to get a positive 4 would be x minus 6 and x plus 2. Now I have to bring back this 4. So that's why I usually have it further down, because this would be the step right here. Here I'm going to simplify first. So I can simplify both of these fractions. I can simplify this so it says 3 over 2, and I can simplify this so it's 1 over 2. Both of these fractions can now be written in front. So this 2 has to go in front of the x, so it'd be 2x plus 3. And this 2 has to go in front of the x, so it'd be 2x plus 1. And that would be my final answer. Right now, attempt both of these problems however way you want to do it by yourself. And these would be your 2 answers to the problem. Now, the other thing that we have is a perfect square. If we have a perfect square, we can rewrite it like this format. But you have to be careful. The first thing you want to check for is the A and is the B perfect squares. If that's true, you want to check the middle term, because it's not always going to be the case. If the middle term is then 2 times A times B, then you would want to rewrite it in this format. If it's addition, it would be addition in between the 2 A and B. If it's subtraction, it would be subtraction in between the 2. So let me show you an example. So when I look at this, I see that 4 and 36, they're perfect squares. So I'm going to test this out. Now, subtraction in between. The perfect square of 4 would be 2, so it would be 2x. Why does this have an x with it? Because the 4 is with the x. Then I would have minus 6. But first I want to check it. So this should be 2 times 2 times 6. When I multiply that all together, I would get 24, which checks out. So then this would right here would be my final answer. Attempt to do this problem by yourself. 64, the square root of that is 8, and the square root of 1 is 1, so I check my work. 2 times 8 times 1 is 16, so that works. So it would be subtraction in between. Make sure you wrote down all of the problems and the steps, especially if you're doing it the trick way. Have a great, grand, wonderful day.